It was a rainy Thursday afternoon in Portland, Oregon, when my life suddenly flipped upside down. My name's Daniel Carter. I'm 24, and up until that day, I thought I understood the meaning of bad timing. Turns out I didn't have a clue. I had been living alone in a small apartment on the east side for about a year. My neighbor, Claire Matthews, lived across the hall. Claire was in her late 20s, bright-eyed, with a knack for making people feel welcome. We weren't close friends, but we'd exchanged enough small talk in the hallway that I knew she was the kind of person you could count on to water your plants when you were out of town. The day everything happened started out normal enough. I'd just gotten back from my shift at the hardware store, rain soaking my jacket and my hair. I threw the wet clothes into the bathroom and made myself a cup of coffee, figuring I'd spend the evening working on some designs for the small woodworking business I'd been trying to launch on the side. That's when my phone buzzed. It was a text from Claire. "Hey, Danny, are you home? Can I ask a favor?" I texted back. "Yeah, what's up?" Within a minute, there was a knock on my door. I opened it to find Claire holding a cardboard box that looked like it weighed a ton. "Sorry to bug you," she said, a little out of breath. "My friend shipped me some equipment for her photography business, but the box was left outside in the rain. I need somewhere dry to open it, and my place is kind of a disaster right now. Could I maybe use your table?" "Sure," I said, stepping aside. "Come on in." She thanked me and walked in, leaving a trail of rainwater on my hardwood floor. We set the box on my kitchen table and grabbed a pair of scissors. Inside, it was full of bubble wrap and camera gear, lenses, tripods, lighting kits, all high-end stuff. "You're into photography?" I asked. "Not really," she said, pulling out a tripod. "My friend Amelia is. She's coming by later to pick all this up. I'm just the delivery person this time." We chatted as she unpacked the gear. She told me Amelia was starting her own wedding photography business, and that Claire sometimes helped her with smaller events. I offered to make us both coffee while we waited for Amelia. That's when my phone rang. It was my younger cousin Ethan, who was in town for a conference. He wanted to drop by to return a book I'd lent him. I told him to come over, figuring it'd be fine since Claire was only going to be there a short while. But the universe apparently decided that was the perfect time to create chaos. First, Amelia texted Claire saying she was running late because of traffic. Then, while I was pouring the coffee, Claire leaned over the table to adjust something on the tripod. At that exact moment, one of the legs slipped and the tripod tipped, knocking over my coffee cup. The hot liquid spilled across the table and onto the floor, narrowly missing the expensive camera lens. "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry," Claire said, grabbing napkins. We both scrambled to clean it up. And, of course, because timing is everything, that's when Ethan walked in. I heard the door creak open, followed by his voice. "Hey, Danny," then silence. When I looked up, Ethan was frozen in the doorway, staring at the scene in front of him, me crouched on the floor, Claire kneeling next to me, both of us reaching across the table, coffee everywhere, camera gear scattered around. From his perspective, it probably looked like something entirely different. Am I interrupting something?" Ethan said, raising an eyebrow. Claire looked up, cheeks flushed.
"No.
You're not interrupting anything. Just coffee disaster." Ethan smirked.
Sure.
Coffee disaster.
Got it."
I could see exactly where his mind had gone, and I knew there was no way I was going to convince him otherwise in that moment. Before I could explain, another knock came at the door. This time it was Mr. Jenkins, the building superintendent, holding a wrench. "Danny, you got water leaking into the unit below," he said without preamble. "Any idea what's going on?" I blinked. No." He stepped inside, looking around, and immediately saw the puddle of coffee and Claire on the floor. His eyes darted to the scattered equipment, and I could see another wave of misunderstanding flash across his face. At this point, I was 2 seconds away from putting up a sign that said, "Nothing weird is happening here." I explained the coffee spill as quickly as I could, and Mr. Jenkins seemed satisfied enough, heading to the bathroom to check the pipes. Ethan leaned against the wall, still grinning, clearly enjoying every second of my discomfort. About 20 minutes later, Amelia finally arrived. She was cheerful and oblivious to the tension, thanking me for letting Claire unpack the gear in my apartment. She packed everything up and left with Claire, leaving me alone with Ethan. "So," he said, smirking. "Worst timing ever, huh?" I groaned. "You have no idea." Over the next few days, the incident became a running joke among my family and neighbors. Ethan told everyone he knew that he'd walked in on something at my place, and no amount of explanation seemed to fully clear things up. Claire, thankfully, found the whole thing hilarious and promised me she'd vouch for my innocence, though she admitted it was one of the funniest misunderstandings she'd ever been part of. Looking back now, I can laugh about it too. It's a reminder that no matter how carefully you plan your day, life has its own way of throwing you curveballs. And sometimes, all you can do is laugh, even if the timing is the absolute worst.